Right. All right. Welcome, everybody. My name is Jenna Zimsloni. I work for MCCC, which is Minnesota Communities Caring for Children, as the Regional ACEs Training Coordinator for Northern Minnesota. I'm your staff host today for today's Practicing Resilience session. Today, Becky Dale is going to be sharing some brain break exercises with us. For anyone who's joining us today for the first time, you'll be able to have user controls for Zoom at the bottom of your screen where you can share reactions. You can use the chat box. You'll be able to mute or unmute yourself. You'll be able to share or stop sharing your video screen there as well. And then there's a couple other things that you can check out down there. If you have any questions, please send either me or another MCCC staff person a message via the chat box, and one of us will try to get on there and help you out. So a quick overview of what these practice sessions include. We'll take the first 5 minutes will be an opening. We'll have a breathing exercise, a quick reflection, and a reading or something like that. And then we'll have about 10 to 15 minutes of resilience practice that's focused on individual and community protective factors. Then we'll have about 7 minutes of conversation in small groups, and we'll close with a collective breath together. So today we're gonna open with a square breathing exercise. It's my favorite. If you've been here while I was hosting before, I do it every time. It's really simple and it really helps me regulate my breath. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna draw a square with our finger on the up line. We're gonna breathe in. And then as we go across, we'll hold it. As we go down, we exhale. And then we hold it. So let's do one together and then we'll do a couple by ourselves. So breathe in, hold it, exhale, hold it. Now let's do a couple on our own. Awesome. All right. Thank you. I'm also going to share a really quick quote with you all today, and then we'll jump into our practice. The quote is by Theodore Roosevelt, and it goes, "When you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hold on." I'll repeat that one more time for you guys. When you're at the end of your rope, tie a knot and hold on. So now we'll go ahead and welcome Becky Dale with brain break exercises. Becky?
Welcome, everybody. So I see some new names and faces. Welcome to those of you who may have not been here before. If you haven't found it yet, on the upper right-hand corner of your Zoom screen, you can toggle back and forth between speaker view or gallery view. In these practices, we are trying to practice 3 levels of protective systems. One is individual capabilities, things that we ourselves can learn, and skills that we can use to help us navigate challenging situations and times. Relationship and nurturing and attachment. So we do some work in smaller groups and pairs, and then community, culture, and spirituality. And so I like to have my screen just in the gallery view, so I see all of the little squares with everybody's either names or pictures or faces. And I invite you to do that if you'd like to as a component of practicing the community part. Thank you to those of you who are willing to share your screens. We understand if you're not comfortable doing that, or if it's challenging, or there's good reason not to, that's totally fine too. But just acknowledging that seeing each other's faces helps reinforce the community component of this. I don't know if there's anyone here with young people today, but we welcome children and youth, and try to make our practices ones that anyone who's got kids at home, the kids can participate as well. So today, the practices I'm bringing are what I call brain breaks. And I'm going to do it again in a second here. Put the link in the chat for everyone to a handout that has some of these on them. Well, essentially what these are exercises that have some grounding in brain science, that some of them are things we can do on our own, and some of them are things we need a partner to do or a group to do, so that we sort of touch on the individual self-regulation, co-regulation with someone else, and community regulation. And there are things you can, that just take a minute, that can be used throughout the day to help reset or help open up your mind. And they, like I said, they rely on brain science and things that help our brains refocus or connect or energize. Different ones do different things. So I'm just going to start with a pretty simple one, and things that, any activities that cross our midline of our body help connect our left and right sides of the brain. And we need both parts of the brain. You know, we often think of it as the sort of the mathematical side and the creative side, and the language is on one side, but we need them to work together. So this first one is you touch your nose with your right hand, and then with your left hand, you reach across and touch your right earlobe. Yeah, got it? Okay, and now we're gonna switch. You're gonna touch your nose with your left hand and reach your right hand across to your left earlobe. Yeah, all right. And then do it again, switch again. And then you try to see how quickly you can switch back and forth. Excellent. So hopefully people who are here on joining by phone can also hear the instructions and try it. Thank you for those of you who are willing to be silly enough publicly so that it shows on our screen. I will say the recording only records who's speaking, so the recording won't have your pictures doing this, just so you know. So when you're working, I mean, it's things like this, there's also great science around, especially, I don't know for you, but for me right now, like telling the difference between the days and when your work day starts and ends, and all of that can be really muddy when it's all at home, you know, and it's all like, where do you start when? And taking about, you know, every 25 minutes or so, standing up and stretching, doing something brief actually helps your focus come back online, helps your, as I mentioned, the sides of your brain connect in that one. It's good for when you're doing trainings or workshops or participating in trainings and workshops too, and you feel yourself starting to like drift off or disengage. These really short activities can help with that. All right, so the next one we're gonna do together. And so this is, I think we'll leave people muted for now, but if you're in a live setting, you can hear everybody doing it. I think, I'm not sure that'll work really well with this because of the way the sound functions on here. But what I'm gonna do, we're gonna stomp and then count to 4. So it'll go stomp, 1, 2, 3, 4, stomp, 1, 2, 3, 4, stomp, 1, 2, 3, 4. And actually I'm gonna go, yeah. So now we're gonna replace the 1 with a snap of our right hand. So I will, can you hear me stomp if I do this? Do you hear it? Not really, okay. All right, so I'll just keep saying stomp. I'll go, so we're gonna go stomp, snap, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, stomp, snap, 2, 3, 4, stomp, snap, 2, 3, 4, stomp, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'm gonna not say the numbers of the thing that we're doing. I'll say stomp because you can't hear it, but then we'll just do the thing, right? So the next, now we're gonna add, okay, so the 1 is gonna be snap of the right hand, the 2 is gonna be snap of the left hand, okay? So here we go again. Stomp. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stomp. 3, 4. Stomp. 3, 4. Stomp. 3, 4. Stomp. 3, 4. Okay, now the 3 is going to be slap your right thigh. And the after, we'll do that a couple times, and then the 4 will become slap your left thigh. Okay? So here we go. Stomp. 4, stomp. 4, stomp. 4, stomp. 4, stomp. All right, now we'll add the slap of the left thigh on 4. So I'm just going to say the stomp. And yeah, hopefully for those of you on the phone, I'll try to make my snaps so you can hear them. And I'll clap instead of slap my thigh. So there's an audible part of each of this. Okay. All right, here we go. Stomp. 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 Okay, now, if you're willing, take yourself off mute and let's see what we hear if we all try it. Let's just, I'm curious to see if it may get bits and pieces of everybody, but let's see if we can hear your sounds, okay? Here we go. Stomp. 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 Nice. So it's tricky. Zoom, I think it only picks up one sound at a time, so that makes it a little bit trickier. So you can remute yourself if you like. So let's now just take a moment to check back in some things that we've done before. Just to, because that one requires concentration, and I know I felt myself like tensing a little bit. So it's also part of like noticing what's happening in our body, but also the process of doing something together, which is part of that, doing something in unison, even if we can't hear each other, as that community building component. But let's just take a moment to like notice our feet on the ground and notice the weight of your feet on the ground. You might notice if you're sitting, the sitting bones, the weight on the chair. Try to envision your spine as straight and your limbs loose, your arms and your legs relaxed, your shoulder relaxed. You might take a breath here. So it's all those subtle little adjustments throughout the day, right? So we might notice ourselves getting sleepy and dreary and sort of sleepy, and then we need to get ourselves a little more, wake ourselves up a little bit. One of the resources I have in here is called Brain Gym. It's 26 activities for, settling your brain, right? We've talked a lot about the nervous system. This uses the brain. And one of them is just taking a sip of water, actually. That sipping water, not drinking big glugs, but sipping water can actually help you re-energize. It's a re-energizing thing. So when if you notice your muscles tensing, that might be a time to ground and just sort of straighten your spine and invite your arms and legs to relax. If you find yourself feeling sleepy, that might be a time to do something like one of these activities that we tried, cross brain, wake your brain up, stimulate some of those pathways again. Okay, so here's another one that gets your brain sort of waking up again. So with your palms facing outwards, let's see here. You're gonna move your right hand up and down. All right, stop. And now move your left hand back and forth. Yeah, okay, now notice see if you can pay attention to the tension in your body and see if you can invite it to stay relaxed. Might not, that's okay. Whatever the experience is okay. Now we're going to try to do both at once. We're going to move the right hand up and down and the left hand back and forth. You can take it as slow as you need to. And then try to speed it up as you start to get it. Nice. And then now try it the other way. Left hand up and back down, and right hand back and forth. Great. So the link I sent you in the chat to all of these, you know, if you wanted to have them handy to try during the day, just take lots of little breaks during the day. Makes a lot of difference. We talked certainly every time taking a few breaths is a great thing, but you might try breath combined with an activity that sort of wakes your brain up or helps it focus. Another one that's super interesting, and I'll show you a couple of these from the these are from the Brain Gym, and I'm just gonna hold it up and show you, but they have cards from Brain Gym, and one of them is just to think of an X. Isn't that fascinating? It helps with the is a midline movement, another one of those midline movements that actually helps clear the brain. That you can, yeah, all right. Okay, so I would like a volunteer. I wonder if somebody would volunteer to help me with one. You can raise your hand or unmute yourself and just say that you volunteer. It's not difficult, and we won't. We can not use this recording if you don't want to be recorded. That's fine too.
I'll do it, Becky, since no one's raising their hand.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to work in pairs, and what we're going to do, you guys are actually going to try it in your small groups too. Or that's an invitation that you can try in your small group. Okay, so we're going to count to 3 a few times, and we're just going to take turns saying the number. So I'll say 1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3,
1,
2,
3.
right. Okay, now, now we sort of like what we did as a group before, but now it's with pairs. We're gonna replace 1 with a clap, and then every time one of us would say 1, we'll clap instead. Okay.
Okay.
So I'll start.
2,
3, 2,
3, 2,
3, 2.
3.
Right. Now we're going to do the same thing, except we're going to replace the 2 with a jump. You don't have to get up. You don't have to stand. Just sort of do a bounce, right? Okay. So 1 is a clap, 2 is a bounce. We say 3. Here we go. 3.
3.
3.
3.
Right. And now, of course, we add the last one, which is the chicken dance. You don't have to do the whole thing. You just sort of, do this.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3. Yeah, is the way it works. So I'll start 1. Go. Yeah, you got it. All right, so you guys got it. I'll put the 3 steps in the chat, but so you start by just counting 1, 2, 3, then clap 2, 3, then clap jump 3, then clap jump chicken dance. Okay. So I'm going to put you guys into small groups, and you can try that with a partner. If you end up with 3 people in your group, well, then maybe it's a little easier because you can count to 3. Because 3, but then you might take turns doing it in pairs, because it's that offness of it that makes it a little, okay. So, here we go.